Colombia joins the BRICS. In a world facing rapid geopolitical transformations, Colombia finds itself at a decisive moment. The decision to seek integration into BRICS, a group of emerging economies challenging the dominance of traditional blocs, could reshape its economic future and its position on the global stage. But what does joining BRICS really mean? Why do so many countries aspire to be part of this group? And most importantly, what implications would it have for Colombia? This video unravels the details behind this historic decision and analyzes how it could change the country's course. BRICS is a group of emerging economies originally composed of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The acronym became popular in the early 2000s when a Goldman Sachs report highlighted the economic potential of these countries to become key drivers of global growth. In an announcement that promises to mark a before and after in Colombia's economic policy, the country formally expressed its interest in joining the BRICS Development Bank. This bloc, originally made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, has grown in influence as an alternative to traditional financial institutions. Now, with new members like Saudi Arabia, Argentina, and Egypt, the BRICS seek to consolidate themselves as a counterweight in the global economy. Finance Minister Ricardo Bonilla announced that Colombia will submit its official application on November 15, 2024. This strategic decision seeks to strengthen the country's trade ties, especially with Asia, a region that is increasingly gaining relevance in international trade. It is crucial not to depend solely on economic relations with the West. Markets like Asia offer great opportunities for Colombian products, such as our high-quality coffee, explained Bonilla, a bank for emerging development. Founded in 2015, the BRICS Development Bank was created with the mission of financing infrastructure and sustainable development projects in emerging economies, challenging the hegemony of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. Joining the bank not only opens the door to more accessible financing, but it also provides member countries with a platform to collaborate on projects that transcend national borders. For Colombia, this could be a unique opportunity. The nation faces significant economic challenges, including a considerable fiscal deficit and a tax reform still under discussion. Integration into the development bank would allow access to vital resources for infrastructure and sustainability projects, reducing dependence on traditional sources of financing that in many cases come with strict conditions. Commercial implications: Asia as a new horizon. Colombia's interest in BRICS is not accidental. Asia, especially China and India, represents a market of over 2.7 billion people. Diversifying trade relations towards this region could be key for the export of Colombian products, especially those that have a competitive advantage in quality, such as coffee, flowers, and bananas. Furthermore, joining the bloc would allow Colombia to participate in multilateral initiatives promoted by the BRICS, such as transcontinental infrastructure projects and technological cooperation programs. According to Bonilla, integration into the bloc is not just a commercial decision, but also a declaration of intent. Colombia seeks to be a relevant player on the international stage. Different points of view on the national scene. However, this decision has not been without debate. Some economic and political sectors have raised concerns about the possible geopolitical implications of this alliance. Javier Diaz, president of Analdex, pointed out that while diversifying sources of financing is positive, it is essential to assess how this decision could affect Colombia's relations with its traditional partners, such as the United States and the European Union. On the other hand, some see this initiative as a necessary and visionary step. Gustavo Gomez, executive director of ASO Export, stressed that joining BRICS could facilitate wider access to Asian markets, which in turn would boost Colombian exports at a time when the country needs to diversify its income. The internal economic context, a determining factor. Domestically, Colombia faces a challenging economic outlook. The fiscal reform proposed by the government of President Gustavo Petro, which seeks to raise 12 trillion pesos through new taxes, has encountered obstacles in Congress. In addition, high debt levels and dependence on the export of raw materials further complicate the situation. Joining BRICS is not just about financing. It is a commitment to an economic model that prioritizes South-South cooperation, where developing countries work together to build a more equitable global economy. A decision with global impact. Colombia's decision to seek integration into BRICS could have a significant impact on the bloc's dynamics. If its application is accepted, the country will not only expand the capabilities of the development bank, but it will also represent a bridge between Latin America and Asia, regions that historically have had less economic interaction than desirable. On the other hand, Colombia's entry into BRICS could reshape its foreign policy. A closer relationship with China, India, and Russia would not only imply economic benefits, but also a greater presence in global discussions on issues such as climate change, food security, and digital trade. Colombia's aspiration to join BRICS is more than an economic strategy. It is a sign that the country is willing to redefine its role on the international stage. In an increasingly multipolar world, the commitment to alliances with emerging economies not only opens up new opportunities, but also poses significant challenges. The road to joining the bloc will not be easy, but if managed with prudence and strategic vision, it could be the step Colombia needs to ensure a more solid and diversified economic future. Hey everyone! Today we're going to talk about something super interesting: Colombia's possible entry into BRICS. And why is this group so important? Well, because it has an ambitious goal: to change the game in the world economy, which today depends heavily on the US dollar. The BRICS, that is, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have been saying for a long time that they want a more balanced world, where economic power is not only in the hands of a few countries. And they are not just talking, they are taking action. For example, China and Russia are using their own currencies in trade agreements. And the BRICS Development Bank, also known as the New Development Bank, is issuing bonds in local currencies to finance projects. What for? To reduce dependence on the dollar. By diversifying, the BRICS seek to protect themselves from the risks of relying solely on the dollar, such as changes in US monetary policy or economic sanctions. It is a strategic play to have more independence and financial stability. For Colombia, joining BRICS would mean joining this transformation. It would be an opportunity to participate in a fairer and more inclusive global economic system. Imagine we could have new trade and investment opportunities, especially with emerging markets in Asia and Africa. Of course, not everything is rosy. This change requires a solid financial infrastructure, good regulations, and international cooperation. But if it works, it could change the rules of the global economic game. Colombia would have a stronger and more diverse economy. In short, Colombia's interest in BRICS goes beyond the economic. It is about being part of a movement that seeks a fairer global financial system, where no single currency has all the power. This strategic move could be the key for Colombia to position itself in a global economy that is changing at full speed.